I guess as I think about the role of stories in my life or in my ministry, gosh, the stories we could tell, right? I guess I like to tell stories because they invite people into an experience, into an encounter, where they can look around, where they can sense, where they can hear, where they can smell, they can try and envision themselves in that same situation. And by doing so, they take themselves out of their preconceived notions and they enter into something totally different. And then they're forced to wonder. One of my favorite pastors and colleagues, co-workers, he would always tell a story and then say, I wonder where you are in that story. And they force us, stories force us to kind of imagine, had we been there, had we experienced the same thing, how might we act? And they shed light, they illuminate a bit about us in ways that just teaching doesn't, or in a way that just telling doesn't. I think that's probably why Jesus spoke in parables, which are nothing more than these stories, because he wanted people to begin to, I always say, to scratch their itches. Because if you have these itches, but you never take the time to scratch them, then you'll never really know that they're there. But once you start to scratch the itch, you can't let go of it. You have to continue wrestling with it, dealing with it, spending time with it, sometimes frustratingly so, right? And I think Jesus would teach these parables to try and shake people out of their circumstance or their preconceived notions so that they begin to think about things differently. So they scratch the itch to begin to think about and be led by something altogether different. And I think that's why I tell stories too, because I like to invite people to get outside of their skin by jumping into an alternative, reality often made possible by stories or these narratives. And so I try and tell stories as often as I can. And as I'm talking to you right now, I have to admit I don't think I have a story in this week's sermon, so it'll be an interesting sermon.